Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebstyle.
I'm Charles Lewis, your Internet Marketing Specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast where we will... Ooh, I don't have my tip. Where we will be covering an article. There is a tip. Do you remember? The tip was whether your penalty is manual or algorithmic, you need to attack it. Act quickly, attack it quickly.
Yeah, definitely, because one time is of the essence anytime you've been penalized. Especially if it's a manual penalty, that means Google has blocked your site for spam reasons. Maybe you got hacked and they don't feel it's safe. Maybe for whatever reason, they blocked it and sent you a notice that, hey, you've been penalized. You need to address that quickly. Fix those hacks, clean the site up, document it, and then resubmit it. Or maybe it was an algorithmic penalty, right? So you didn't get a message.
Right.
You just saw a drop in traffic.
Or a disappearance.
Exactly. All of a sudden conversion stopped and things like that. Then go back and check some dates, look at your analytics, figure out when that drop happened, look at your site, maybe check the latest changes you made, and fix that problem. Maybe it's a content issue if it was Panda related.
Right.
Maybe it's some linking you were doing on if it was Penguin related. But fix those issues as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Please remember, we're broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatchers, where our mantra is,
don't be a douche.
If you're in a position to, please tweet now. You'll have some sort of device around you, and what we'd like you to tweet is...
what you see behind us, if you happen to be watching. Hashtag SEO Podcast. This is number 266. Be sure to tag us in it at eWebstyle, at Best SEO Podcast. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social
interact with you. All right, so now we're going to go into a little section that we might skip next week. So we had somebody give us the idea of skipping the whole section about how to interact with us socially, and we may skip this whole section. All you have to do is to go out there and generate 10
Let's give them some background info first.
Yeah.
So we got a comment, right, from a young lady, and she was a recent podcast viewer, listener rather, and
Elena. Yep.
Yeah.
Punch in the face to her.
And she made a comment that, our fans, people who watch it every week, people who listen every week may be
tired of that.
Tired of the whole potato section where we go through our social deal.
Right.
It's kind of verbatim with the G pluses and the Facebooks and all of that. And so we got to experiment.
Right.
Something we want to try. So
the experiment is right now our G plus pages combined, because there's two of them, have 317 follows. Our Facebook page has 592 likes. Our Instagram has 87
followers.
Thank you. And Twitter has 460
followers.
If any three of those increase by 10,
87 Instagram things.
Thingies, there's stuff.
Yeah.
If any one of those social platforms increases by 10, so we get 10 additional G plus followers, we get 10 additional Facebook likes, and 10 additional Twitter followers, we will skip this section next time. So if you want that to happen, we're gonna go out there and
spread the word.
Spread the word. Since it didn't happen since the last time that we didn't announce the contest, thank you guys for tuning in. If this is the first time you've listened to this podcast, great. You're going to love this podcast. We've got great information. What are we talking about?
So 12 tweaks you can do to enhance your conversion rates. And so it's going to be some pretty good content. We're trying to help for the new year.
Yep.
Really want to help people get that traffic there and turn their traffic into business.
Absolutely. If you've listened to this podcast before, we're going to ask you to do one of a couple of favors. One of those is to go onto our G Plus account and do a couple things. We've made it really easy for you to get to our G Plus account. All you have to do is go to e-webstyle.com/Google Plus or /G Plus or /Google Plus or /G Plus. And all of those will take you to our G Plus local page, where it turns out there's only two things we need to do. They took away a plus.
Yeah.
Because that existed not that long ago. There used to be 3. Now there's only 2 things to do there.
Yeah.
And those are?
Yeah, first off, just follow us. Follow us on Google Plus. That way you can be up to date with the latest podcasts and news and things we're sharing over there. And then, most importantly, give us a 5-star review, so we can just, tell the people about how much you like the podcast and what you get from it.
The next thing you could do for us is on iTunes. It takes only 3 steps. Go to iTunes, create an account, write a review. Hopefully that review will be 5 stars. And if you choose to, you can send us an email about that review, and that's podcast at
e-webstyle.com.
Next, Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/ewebstyle. And there, of course, there's a place to write reviews. Just give us a 5-star review. And then finally on Stitcher. We need more reviews on Stitcher. Yeah. Stitcher is staying up to date now. I fixed it again today. And we need some reviews there. And finally, all the ways that you could hunt us, stalk us, follow us, or whatever. Facebook.com/ewebstyle. Twitter.com/ewebstyle. YouTube.com/ewebstyle. And Instagram.com/ewebstyle. Yes.
And so, just for clarity's sake, with our little experiment, that whole section
that we just did,
G plus all the way through that, is what we will eliminate
from the next
week.
Podcast.
Yeah, if we can hit our numbers plus 10.
Excellent. Thank you guys for helping us. But either way, thank you. Hey, if you're a PHP expert or a WordPress expert, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. We're looking for talent. Just call and leave an audio resume, 713-510-7846. If you want a free website analysis, just go to our website, e-webstyle.com, and you will find our website analysis. By the way, the easy way to write a Stitcher review, go to our website.
Click the Stitcher logo on the sidebar, and as soon as you get to their site, it's like right there at the top, write a review.
Can't miss it. Do we have any algo?
We do have some algo cat.
Time for our favorite section, the algorithm cataclysm. Ooh, that video effect just keeps getting the same.
Yeah, so dig this with the algo cat. It's nothing that they officially launched, so it's really kind of 2 things.
Right.
One, seeing a lot more chatter in regards to potential mobile algorithm update coming.
Okay, yeah.
Different from Panda, different from Penguin, different from Pigeon, and all the other ones. Totally separate.
Well, you can imagine, since they're flagging it, if it's mobile friendly, it'd be very easy to turn it on so that it only top 10 are mobile friendly.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and they're sending more and more alerts. I got one, ironically, from the old site I built for this church some years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, forgot I had Format2 set up for those.
That's still up?
And so man, yeah, if you're getting those alerts from Webmaster Tools, fix your site, man.
Yep.
Like make sure it's mobile friendly. But the real algo cat was, so remember when Google stopped displaying live tweets in the search results?
Yep.
Because the Twitter CEO at the time wanted to be more in control of the content and all of that kind of stuff. They recently made a change at CEO.
Right.
New CEO says no, due to the drop in users, the drop in followers, the drop in usage.
You need more publicity.
So he opened up the floodgates, redid the deal with Google, and so now live tweets will show up in the search results page.
Yep.
That should be rolling out in the next couple months.
And it's already on Bing, right?
Yeah, it's already on Bing.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I saw that note also. I've got 2 pieces of news.
Okay.
Radio Shack files bankruptcy. This is interesting. Everybody likes Radio Shack, or nerds like Radio Shack. The only thing keeping Radio Shack afloat, and since you read the article, this will make perfect sense, is actually their cell phone sales.
Cell phones, yeah.
Without cell phone sales, it's shut down.
That's because they're expensive, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you can go on Radio Shack and get a USB to, I don't know, HDMI, whatever, adapter.
Right.
For $40. And that same thing will be like $19.99 at Micro Center or at Fry's.
Or online.
Or online.
Even cheaper online.
Yeah. So that's,
That's why they're struggling. They're in talks with Sprint for Sprint to take over all their stores or rebrand their stores. Because it's useful. They've got
Sprint probably looked at the analytics and was like, so
that many of our sales come
from Radio Shack? Yeah, we need to take advantage of that.
The other thing that I got was the fire scratch resistant. So Gorilla Glass, right, is super strong in terms of you drop it, although people would argue this, but you drop it and it doesn't break. Gorilla Glass is strong. It's a little scratch. It has problems with scratches, right? So it scratches more than Sapphire, actually.
So it can't break, but it scratches.
Right. And Sapphire breaks, but doesn't scratch. Yeah. So Fire is a new product from Corning that is going to scratch and break resistant. So that's just around the corner. All right, so we do have 2 reviews here. Both of them are from our G Plus page. The first one is from Chad Croft. Punch on the face to you.
Appreciate
It says,
you, Chad.
great podcast. Listen to over 100 episodes. That just feels good.
Yeah.
As they say, they are the Red Bull of driving or something like that. And I listen to them on my drive
Oh, he
to.
literally said or something like that.
Or oh no, he actually did. That's in parentheses. I think it's the Red Bull of podcasts, maybe that we had said, because you actually can stay awake while you listen to our. It's the Red Bull of SEO podcasts. He listens to them on his drive to and from work. These guys know good stuff and share it with you, and it costs you nothing. Why aren't you subscribed yet?
I know. Subscribe. What could you subscribe on? iTunes, I guess.
Yeah, iTunes for sure. Stitcher.
Stitcher,
right?
you subscribe. Okay.
Yeah. He says entertaining too, and get listening. Man, he's giving orders. Like, yes, sir.
Subscribe, entertaining, get this. Yeah, appreciate you.
Mr.
Punch in the face
to Mr.
Chad.
Croft. Yes. All right, and the next one is CKO Kickboxing. It says, these guys provide an entertaining and informative podcast on smart SEO strategies. I just found them on a whim, and I am pumped to utilize them as a resource going forward.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let us know how they work out for you. And what whim?
Yeah. How do we spread the whim? And it's kickboxing, so if we make him mad, we will get a serious kick in the shins.
Yeah, a punch in the face to you, and that's literally a good thing.
Yeah,
right? Don't get it
twisted. Yeah. And then finally, punch in the face to Elena Meadowcroft. We mentioned her earlier. We've got a good conversation going back and forth about G Plus Local and what to do with that. So
this news.
Yeah.
Google Senior Vice President of Knowledge. Vice President of Knowledge. I know, right?
At most places, wow. What do you know? Are you a son? Are you somebody's son?
He's the Vice
At
President
Google,
of Knowledge.
it makes makes sense.
He's leaving the company. His name is Alan. He's retiring. Apparently, he's been there since 2002, and he's ready to go.
So does all knowledge leave with the CEO of knowledge?
But then there's a punch in the face to Matt Southern over there at SCJ. He was saying that it could be likely to due to all of the changes. Like a lot of the original Google execs were there when the focus was just search. But now when they're getting into mobile, into clouds, and to vehicles even, and all these other things,
right?
You know, some of the core squad is kind of like, all right, it's time for me to go. So,
I got enough money in the bank. I can do
don't even
whatever
feel like
I want.
dealing with all of that, you know, and I dig it. I can understand that. I had a couple punches in the face as well. This one hit us up on Twitter. This is to Dustin DeTorres, at Dustin DeTorres. He says, hey, at eWebStyle, your hashtag SEO podcast is fantastic. Woo. Get rid of the tear tattoo. I wish my girlfriend would get rid of the Indian riding a dolphin tat.
He may have submitted a review before. Somebody else did. It was like, I wish my girlfriend could get rid of her tat as easily as you get rid of your tear tattoos. Punch in the face, Mr.
Punch in the face to you.
Torres.
And then I want to give another punch in the face to Twitter CEO. Ironically, you're talking about them. Right. The CEO Dick Costolo. So not only did he, reopen the gates to Google so the tweets can show up in the search results, but he's also putting the team together to address the trolling and the cyberbullying that happens on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
He recognized and admitted that it's a problem, it's been a problem, and that they sucked at addressing that problem and fixing it. And so he wants to shift his focus to addressing that issue for a couple reasons. One, it is wrong, and more importantly, we know that that's the reason you're beginning to lose lots of power Twitter users.
Right.
People who are just tired of being trolled. I'll just close it.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
need it. Yeah.
And that kind of sucks for your reputation. So punch in the face to you for stepping to the plate and trying to fix an obvious issue.
Take care of that issue. That's right there. All right, so that's the potatoes of our podcast. Mm-hmm. Time to get into the meats. To the meats or meat. It's a smorgasbord. In fact, we've got 12 tweaks to increase customer conversion rates. We also call this SEO.
SEO, yeah. These are things that you can do once traffic gets to your site, right? We talk about that a lot. It's one thing to do SEO, to do pay-per-click, to do social media marketing and email marketing and all these things to get people to your site. But once they get there, then what?
I can't tell you how many times people have come and are like, all right, we just want to do PPC, or we're just ready to go with SEO, and we look at their site and we're like, ooh,
yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to pay to send traffic there. We're going to send traffic there because we're good at it, and they're not going to convert, and then you're going to say what we did didn't work.
Yeah. And it's really your site. So let's dive in. And the cool thing about this article by Scott Gerber, punch in the face to you. So it wasn't just 12 tweets. He talked to 12 industry people. Okay. And got a one tweet from each one of them. Cool. And so let's meet these guys and see what they're talking about. Matter of fact, the 12 entrepreneurs from the Young Entrepreneurs Council revealed one small and impactful way a business owner can tweak a landing page. So the first one comes from Phil LeBone. He's over at iFlow Internet Marketing. Phil says, tweaking the wording on your call to action and making sure it stands out. That's a paraphrase. And I agree. We have to tweak the wording. What we normally do and what we've been talking on the previous podcast is adding action words to those call to actions. So rather than just tweak it, let's include a word that leads down the path of what your goal is. So if you want people to subscribe, like we were talking earlier, then use the word subscribe in your call to action text. If you want people to order, use the word order. Use the word buy. Use the word shop. Use those words that lead down your action in your call to action. Make it stand out. The second one, number 2, was by a guy named Nicholas Grimian. He's at free-ebooks.net. He says use buttons. His tip is use attractive buttons. Use buttons that are recognizable, easily stand out, and invite the visitor to click. And I agree. Yeah. I just think you have to, at the end of the day, use buttons that make sense. Right? Remember, we had one account where the guy was trying to show these videos, but he didn't want to use, or he wasn't using the play button on the video. Yep. And so he didn't understand why his video views weren't going higher, as much traffic as his website was getting. And so we made a recommendation, dude, just put the small play triangle in the middle of the video player. And voila,
30% increase in video views. Whoa!
And so use attractive buttons that make sense for what you're putting them on. Number 3, make it flow. And this one is by Stanley Mayton from True Film Productions. Stanley says, provide users with the information they are looking for with a natural train of thought. And I get that, especially when you start talking about conversational search and being semantic and things like that. You want to have a natural flow to your content so people can read and scroll, find what they're looking for pretty easy. One thing I added to this was stay consistent with your sales funnel, right? We focus on growing business and generating leads. And so while you're working on this flow of your content, while you're figuring out how you're going to place things, consider your sales funnel. What do you need people to do, right? They fall in a certain way. Maybe it's from a free report or some free newsletter or whatever it is, and then they're taken to a page where they can see what you have available that's consistent with what they're looking for, and that leads to a conversion form. If that's your process, make sure your content and everything you're posting is consistent with that follows that same messaging. Number 4, follow the F rule. Follow the F rule. And this is from Brian Hagenigman from brianhagenigman.com. He says you only have a few seconds to get your message across, so prioritize the top of the F. And so now consider a landing page, right? And then the landing page has a capital F.
Okay, right.
And that's what he's talking about. And so
they'll read the very top, and
then they'll go down a little bit and read a little bit more over, and then they'll likely go down the left side.
Yep.
Right. That's just how it goes. And that's about right, you know. And so he says, consider the F rule. I think the key here is I wrote down keep your really important elements above the fold.
Absolutely.
Above the fold.
Elements and action, calls to action.
Exactly, because he's talking about a landing page. And so one of the ways we differ from other people is we believe most of the pages on your site should be a landing page. Yep. Like especially your pages that have been optimized for a specific product or service, then that means you have intentions on these pages ranking, and therefore if somebody clicks on them, then effectively it's a landing page. That page should be designed to convert, right?
it's amazing how many websites you go to, and the first page is just beautiful. It's laid out. It's got sections, so you're encouraged to read the different sections. And then you get into an internal page, which is potentially the landing page, and it's like a blog post, like a bad blog post, right? So it's just all this text. You're like, great, you put all this effort and you've done great SEO, and you're landing them on a page that
won't convert them.
Yeah, unsatisfying.
It's not designed to convert them. And so we're against the logic of removing all of that content because nobody wants to read it or whatever, because we understand that content is the reason why that page ranked in the first place.
Absolutely.
We're of the belief that optimize that page for visitors. Right, so include that video above all of that content. Make your CTA prominent in that sidebar. Put a form on all of those pages, and so that way, no matter what page
slider
ranks,
or an image specific to that subject matter.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that way, when people do land on that page, they can still convert. They can still become a qualified lead. So in regards to following the F rule, take that step, but make sure your important stuff is inside the F. Dig that. The next one, A/B tested, and this is from Anthony Saladino from Kitchen Cabinet Kings. Anthony says A/B testing will allow you to quickly make small updates like color, positioning, copy, and then measure them instantly. I agree with the A and B testing. I think measuring and the amount of time you spend on that really depends on how much traffic you get and what your budget is. I mean, if you're a huge brand, big site, and you're getting hundreds, 500-600 visitors a day, then after 2 days, you can probably make some decisions. Yeah. But if you're a smaller business, like, most of our clients and people who follow us, then you may need to let a couple weeks go by, and spend a few dollars in your budget and then really have some data to effectively make a decision on what's working, what color you need to change. Because what you don't want to do is being there every day making these tweaks, and then at the end of the month, you're not sure.
Your overall performance is unsatisfactory, and you're not sure what you learned.
Not sure what you learned, your results are skewed, and you don't have enough data to see what you did wrong. Yeah. So it takes some budget. A lot of people get concerned with that. What if I'm spending this money and I'm not getting the results? I get it. I totally understand that, but that data is important.
How much is an extra 5% of value over the next 2 years if you can identify something that's 5% better? So do you risk 5%
to gain
to gain 5% for the next whatever year?
I like this one here. Eliminate distractions, and this is by Chris Bryson from Call Loop. Okay. He says, give the user one action to take. Remove your links, navigation bars, and other distracting items on the page and watch your conversion rates soar. Chris, I get it, and it makes sense from a certain perspective. I think that if you're on a paid campaign, and maybe this campaign is for a specific product, let's say like a pair of Jordans, where it is what it is. If you had a size, I'm going to buy them, there's no questions. Then absolutely land me on a page that has those shoes and a buy now button and the sizes. I don't need to see nav or any of those other things. However, maybe you're a service provider, right? And you do AC repair and maintenance, and you offer maintenance plans. Then it may not be in the best interest to land somebody who's searching for AC repair service on a page that's strictly focused on that. That navigation may be necessary because it's not a quick sale. It does require a meeting. It requires a call, some emails. And so you don't want to eliminate the opportunity for visitors to go through the site and find other information. Yeah. You want to keep the focus on something, but don't make it difficult for them to contact you or difficult for them to do research. Right. For that type of industry. And so I think you have to be careful with the distractions.
I think you have to A/B test it.
There you go. A/B test it. We'll leave it at that one. The next one is use graphics. Yeah. And this one is by Will Land, Accessory Export. He says connect with the customers through graphical storytelling will keep them on the site longer. I totally agree. Yeah. Graphics work. I mean, that's why we had an influx in video. It's a graphic, medium and infographics and things like that. What I added to this was make sure that the graphics are original when possible. Yeah. Right? Like stock photos just kind of suck, especially when they're kind of recognizable, like the chick with the headpiece on. Yeah. We see her.
She got a whole bunch of jobs. Jamaican worker.
I got 30 jobs, man.
Fred just died. I'm going to go apply for his job, man.
So use graphics and use original ones when you can, and more importantly, make sure those graphics tell the right story. Right, you can use the graphics that totally communicate the wrong messaging that you offer.
Make sure you optimize the images too.
Optimize the images.
That's why original is important, and then make sure you optimize it for the keywords that's on that page is focused on.
Definitely. Next one, shorten your content. This is by Andrew Schrange from Money Crashers Personal Finance.
Punch in the face.
He says, make sure it still includes all relevant information. Just use fewer words. Maybe. That's debatable. I think it depends on what you're optimizing for. I think it's,
there are different kinds of people who want more information. So I think you need to have bullet points and appease those people who have short attention spans. You need to do that at the top.
At the top,
and then make sure that you've got plenty of content for those people who are like, there are people who need to read every word before they buy something that only costs $10. And so you better have all the words you need there, or they're going to bounce and find somebody else who does have all the words.
Exactly. And then from a landing page perspective, and I figure most of these points probably come from a paid ad perspective, kind of seem like, consider the fact that optimized landing pages tend to rank well and have a higher quality score. And so by removing content and simplifying these pages, I'm not sure if that's going to have the best effect on the quality score for these paid campaigns. And so I'm along the same belief with Chris. Don't necessarily remove that content, just position it differently.
Yep.
The next one, pick winning copy using data. He says, give your customers what they're looking for, and your conversion rate and click-through rate and the time on site should all increase. Give your customers what they're looking for. And then I like that he said using data. At the end of the day, this is all
test and measure.
Yeah, you have to figure out what's working, what they're looking for, what they're always searching for. A good way to figure that out, when you check the log on your internal site search, that's a good way to find keywords, a good way to figure out what people are searching your site for. That's what they're looking for. Make that information more prominent so people can find it easier. Figure out what you may want to write it in a couple different ways. Maybe one way is in third person, maybe with images. Another way is in first person with video, right? And figure out which one converts more and then make some changes. Add a newsletter pop-up option. Yeah, good one. This is by Josh Sprague. He says, we do add value to our customers by offering 10% to sign up. Then we also get the obvious value of being able to keep in touch. This has been one of our best marketing successes for 2014. I totally agree. Email marketing works. Matter of fact, and this is what I add, and I think we stated this a couple weeks ago. Email is still the most visited. And the most visited place on the internet.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're gonna go check their inbox on the tablet, on the phone, on desktop, wherever. They're gonna check the email. It just happens. And so, email marketing, keeping a catchy subject title, keeping a newsletter or some sort of representation of your company in their inbox is still adds plenty of value. Let's see here. Give something away. And this one is by Robert De Los Santos from Sky High Party Realms. Robert says this can be anything from an ebook to a how-to video or a coupon code. It just makes sure that it's something people want and that is unique. I agree. I think at the end of the day, it has to have some value.
We're always reaching out to our clients. What changes can we make to your site? What specials can you offer? So absolutely.
Yeah, or what can you offer value that clients literally perceive as value that you can do multiple times and doesn't break the bank, right? What kind of time investment can you put in something to give away free that increases value? Kind of like this podcast. It takes some time for research. It takes a lot of studying. It takes some time for preparation. It takes us 30, 40 minutes to do it. Then we have some post-production, uploading. It takes some time and resources.
Right.
And we hope it's valuable.
Yep.
And so that's kind of what that is.
We hope it's valuable to the tune of 10 likes and follows on 3 separate social networks.
Definitely. Well, and apparently it's been valuable to at least 90 different countries and $8,000 a week or $9,000 a week. And the last one is call attention to the right details. And this one is by Zach Robbins from Leadnomics. He says, if you do not call proper attention to your CTA, you will lose people who don't immediately understand the next step. Good point. I think that's going down that path of the sales funnel sort of logic. I added the main action should be more qualified than the others. So, for example, if you know that if you get people on the phone, you have an 80% higher likelihood of closing the deal, then your phone call CTA should be more prominent than your email CTA.
Yep.
Speaking of email CTA, I'll add the last point, which is something we believe in here that wasn't mentioned on there. Optimize your forms.
Yeah.
Right? We'll add a point
Keep
to
your
this.
forms
The
short.
13th one.
Yeah.
Optimize your forms. Keep them short. Put the labels inside the field so that way they reduce the amount of space that the forms take up. And more importantly, it's not intimidating to the user. It doesn't look like some long-ass form they got to fill out.
I got to fill another freaking form out.
Yeah, it's just 3 or 4 fields. It looks really simple. And it looks like something they can do quickly that won't take them much time. Improve it by giving it a quality CTA, like contact us today for a free consultation or analysis, or we'll call you back in 5 minutes, or whatever it is, and watch your conversion rate go through the roof.
Through the roof.
So punch in the face, man. Punch in the face to, I forgot who wrote this, to Scott. Punch in the face to Scott Gerber, man, at Search Engine Journal. 12 tweaks to increase customer conversion rates, and 13 with the eWeb style edition.
That is awesome. Good article. Punch in the face to all the guys who submitted too.
Yeah,
so very
definitely.
cool. Do we have any what news?
No what news?
No what? Hey, everything's copacetic. All right. So if you're interested in growing your business with the largest, simplest marketing tool on the planet,
The internet,
call eWebStyle for increased revenue in your business. Our number is 713-592-6724. If you have a referral, you send them to us. They pay their internet marketing bill. We will pay you. We have that referral program in place. We are filmed live at 5999 West 34th Street, Suite 106 in Houston, 77092. We are the #1 internet marketing podcast. That is because of all you guys, everyone across the globe.
Use guys.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until the next podcast, my name's Chris Burris.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.
All right.